The AeroPress is one of the most beloved brewers in coffee, but it's only good at making one cup at a time. What if you want to share? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Jay Karagai, and this is the Coffee Helpline.
Yeah, I'm a heartbreaker. Yeah, I'm a heartbreaker. Yeah, I'm a heartbreaker. Yeah, I'm a heart.
All right, welcome to the Coffee Helpline, where if you have questions about coffee, put them in the comments down below, and we'll try to get to answering them in a future video. So Naomi asked, is it possible to make two 12-ounce mugs of coffee in an XL AeroPress? Well, I think so. For those who may not be familiar, the AeroPress has been around since 2005, when a guy named Alan Adler, is that right, created it, and it's been wildly popular in coffee circles ever since. This is an early model here, and then now we also have the newest model. This is the newest version. This is the AeroPress Clear, even though that these were clear before. These have BPAs, these do not. But as you can see, they're still very much the same capacity. They're really good for making one cup of coffee at a time, and not really great at making more. And actually, it's kind of difficult to make more, because let's say you have your AeroPress and you're making coffee, and after you press it all out, you gotta clean it. The cleaning is relatively simple. You just basically will take it. You basically plunge it out. It doesn't work. Rinse it, and then you're pretty much ready to go for another one. But it does take time. And when you're with someone that you want to share coffee with, the last thing you want to do is, make your coffee ready to go, and then you have to sit there for another, 5 or however long it takes you to do all the processes before you can sit down and share a coffee with someone. That just kind of is not ideal. So a lot of people over the years were asking AeroPress to make a bigger AeroPress, and they finally did. Now this is the AeroPress XL, and as you can see, it's much larger than the original model. I'm not really sure exactly how much larger, but it's a lot larger. So we're going to make two coffees in this. We're going to do my typical brewing, which is what's called the inverted, where you're actually turning the AeroPress upside down, and you're going to make the coffee that way. So we're going to do that. So let's get to it. Now, one of the most important things in making quality coffee at home is to start with freshly and ideally roasted coffee. For this, I've got my coffee, the House Nation from Spro Coffee. And if you want to support the channel and our efforts here to make more coffee videos, buy some coffee for yourself, and the proceeds go to help support this channel at sprocoffee.com. And you could subscribe too. That'd be great. And this is a general blend that's really accessible. A lot of cocoa notes and a little bit of nuts. Really nice, well-rounded coffee, but a light medium roast. So we're going to get into that. So you want to measure it out. So we got our scale here and a little cup. And we're going to use 72 grams of coffee, which is probably a larger quantity of coffee than a lot of you are used to using. Can I fit it all in here? Oh yeah. We're going to go for a relatively fine grind to get a lot more extraction out of it. Finer than medium, finer than you would for a pour over, but not so fine as to get close to the espresso level. Pour it in. So we've got a lot of nice coffee in here, all ready to go. Let's put all this away. And you may be wondering, why did I put this scale away? For this brew, we don't need a scale. We're just going to go totally on volume. That's one of the nice things about the AeroPress. Once you measure out your coffee, you really don't necessarily need to worry so much about how much water you're adding. I find that it's very flexible in this respect. Now we're just getting our water to boil. You want to use clean water, filtered water, nicely balanced water. If you're really crazy, you can do the whole get distilled water and then get some kind of mineral thing to make your own balanced water. You can do that, or just get nice quality water from the tap or from wherever you get it from. You'll be perfectly fine. We don't want to get too crazy about things. So we've got our AeroPress. We'll take off the filter holder. Now there are special paper filters that are larger than the original filters, right? So we're going to use that. And we're going to place that in here. Now I do like to wet this if I can, only because, not to rinse it out, because when you have bleach paper filters, there is no, a lot of people will tell you to rinse your filters because they think that you got to rinse out the paper taste. When it comes to bleach paper filters, there really is no residual taste, so you don't really need to worry about it, and I certainly don't. But I like to wet this only just to keep it sticky. So I just wet it just so that it sticks, so that when I turn it over later, it doesn't fall out. All right, now we're going to add our coffee. All right, coffee is now in here. I'm just going to shake it out just to make it a little bit level. I don't know if you really need to worry about that so much. In addition to this, what you're going to want to use is the stirrer or some kind of stirrer. This one comes with the AeroPress XL. And we're going to need our little whatever. This is what you press it into. They include this with the kit, so that's kind of nice. We got everything at the ready for us to go. You can see the coffee inside the AeroPress now. Now we're going to add our water fresh on the boil, and we're going to start our timer, and we're going to bring it all the way up to almost to the crown, but we're going to leave a little bit of a gap there. Now, some of the water is going to fall down and saturate the coffee, but we want to get our stirrer and start to stir. And some of the water level has fallen overall, which is fine. We're not going to worry too much about it. And we're going to go to 45 seconds of stirring. All right, that's good. Put the cap on. And we're going to invert. Take this, put it on top, and then that's the most dangerous part. And then now we're just going to press down. And you don't have to put a lot of pressure, just constant pressure. Some people like mash on it. I don't think that's necessary. Now you're starting to hear a little bit of a hiss. Now that hiss is the AeroPress telling you that you've pushed all of the water out, and now you're just pushing the air gap that's on the top through the coffee, so you know that your brew is finished. Tilt it carefully like this when you take it off, because sometimes there's a little bit of water that's caught on the surface here because of surface tension, and if you just take it off, it kind of spills and makes a mess. But if you tilt it, it slides off and just makes it a lot cleaner. Now, as you can see here, we've got our little elixir. Now remember, this is a concentrated brew. We have 72 grams of coffee that's been infused into this. That's going to give us enough to do 2 12-ounce cups. And what we're going to do is we're going to add water to our vessel and then split. It is a little bit messy. Okay, it's a little bit messy. The pour is not exactly perfect. All right, there we go. 2 ounces of 12-ounce coffees. For you and for some of you who love to share together, so you don't have to waste time making one after the other. Let's have a taste. Oh, it's hot. You'd think after all this time in coffee, I would know that it would be hot. Delicious. So if you really do enjoy AeroPress coffee and want to share it with someone else, this is one way to do it. I hope this helps. If you have any questions for the Coffee Helpline, want to know more about coffee, feel free to leave comments down below. We'll try to get to them as soon as we can. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. We do like to have more subscribers. That's pretty much it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.
Yeah, you better listen up.